back, Josh Taylor. Today's been a lot of fun. We first met with Jeff and his friends, who are Nick and John, who they do the load to jaw and some other stuff, and it was just a blast meeting them. Nick does Ironmans, which I've wanted to do Ironmans, so we're gonna stay in contact with him to contact and just learn a little bit more about Ironmans and potentially train for one and get uh, him learning how to or maybe not how to guide, but that's all up in the air and all debatable. So we'll just see what comes out of that, right? But riding with Jeff was great. We got lost plenty of times. Um, just for the fun of it, we kind of went off the tracks and went off the route multiple times, and not because of a detour or anything, just because we got distracted and forgot to turn. So we were on the street where we should have been on the trails, but we got to where we needed to be, and it was a blast. We had a lot of fun. John, one of Jeff's friend, popped his tire on the way, but we didn't know when we needed to leave and like our time frame, so we had to leave him behind. But he caught it back up after preparing. Actually, when we were doing the orientation with our next rider, who was Becky, who, let me just say this, Becky, on the outside, she seems very nervous, and it's just her personality, guys. She's honestly very brave, in my opinion. She does these great things. She does like adventures each year and stuff like that. So don't let that fool you. My dog's barking. He really admits it to me, guys. We'll get into that later. Um, but riding with Becky was great. She was surprised by how confident I was in her abilities and how I trusted her. But well, let's be honest. Oh, and the cat's running against me. I'm just a magnet for all animals today. But she was a joy to ride with, and I just realized that I skipped over what happened first because usually we do the ride first, and then we have a side quest, then we have a ride. Uh, but we'll go back to I just had full trust in Becky and everything like that. So I knew that even though she didn't believe she had the ability that she did. Anyway, side quest. Side quest was actually before all the rides today, which kind of threw me off. After all, as I said, we normally do the side quests in between routes. At least the ones that since we've started. I don't know how frequently that will change after today. So, but the side quest so you guys remember Brad from yesterday. He piloted me in the morning. Then we stayed night at his. We had breakfast with him, which was some eggs and bacons and this apple turnover, and that was a lot of great food. That was fun. And then we went to an orchard, since him and his family run an orchard and all that. And cat, hi. So we went to his orchard and we met his daughter, who was really nice and all that. And they evidently have like over. I don't. They have a lot of different species of like apples, I guess, different type of apples and stuff like that. But their peaches are amazing, I've gotta say. And we learned that evidently, if you water them more, then the fruit actually tastes not as good due to the fact that it grows faster and doesn't, I guess, get saturated with that flavor. So if you ever have a peach tree, kind of let it go through a dry phase for a while. See how the fruit comes in. Don't obviously make it die, but give it maybe a little bit less of water if the fruit doesn't taste the best. But he gave us some apples and everything, and I've kind of snacked on them as the trip's gone through and today and all that. So yeah, that was a blast. He also gave us honey, which I want to try, but I haven't had much of a chance yet. So I'm hoping my brother doesn't eat it all. Anyway, continuing on. After that, We did our first ride, which I already told you guys about, and then we did our second ride with the Westlake team. We did Farmington yesterday. Now we're doing Westlake. Who we met up with just a small group at the trailhead and all that. We gave them an orientation, and then we started down. I really thought that we would just have like there was like 5, maybe 6 kids, and there's a lot of names I didn't even remember. We met with Ezra, who's another blind individual in our community, and he enjoys biking. He has a tandem of his own. It's an upright on both sides, so he has to sit in the back, and that was a lot of fun to get to meet him. And we actually had him ride the last mile on my bike up in the front because we felt like, well, he's part of the community, and I just felt like I have a lot of endings in my on my route, and why not grant him one? Why not give him a ending to a day's travel? And he really enjoyed it, and I'm happy. I can't wait to continue to connect with Ezra. But we trained Tyson and Bryn. We trained those two. Almost stole Bryn's shoes, but they seemed good. Bryn actually has done coached adaptive, not blind people. I don't fully know who, I guess, but she's done stuff similar to this. Not riding on the bike with them, but more coaching and stuff like that, which was cool. And then I just went blank. So she was our first rider, and it was great. It was a lot of fun. We rode half the route with her, and then we transferred off onto. See, this is where my mind went blank. Blank, because I have a lot of names to remember, and I know I just said it. Uh, remember names, Josh. Tyson, thank you. I said that earlier. Guys, I suck with names, and I don't normally have to have names loaded upon me. So sorry if I forget names once in a while, but forgive me on that. But Tyson was cool. My dog, I think, actually wants water. Connor, can you grab him water? Thank you. Uh, it was great. I really enjoyed riding with Tyson. I really enjoyed riding with all of them, but then the last mile came, and that's where we changed things up. We had Ezra riding on the front, and instead of me riding on the back, which I thought would have been a great idea, 2 blind people on the same bike, just kind of gets rid of the purpose of a tandem bike with the blind. But who could? Yeah, it works. But we had Ezra's sister Claire. She piloted him for that last mile, or what was meant to be the last mile. As I actually ended up riding with Bolt, who's the mayor's son, Saratoga Springs mayor's son. I rode with him on Ezra's tandem bike, and my tandem bike. I wear clips for my tandem bike, which clips are what you use to kind of like clip into the bike so your feet don't slip out and all of that. But problem with clips is if you're not on a bike with clip, like things to click into, your feet go flying everywhere. And unfortunately, Ezra's bike didn't have clips. So there were times where my foot just hit the ground, but it was a blast. It turns out Bolt had a lot of experience tandem riding. Bolt isn't his actual name. Everyone called him that, so it's now Bolt in my head. But so we got to the end, and instead of ending, we went probably another mile and a half, and then had to come all the way back to the park, the campsite that was going to be our ending point, and that was great. We had stalked for a while, and it was just a blast. I'm really happy with the connection of these communities, and like I found that this type of connection, this type of community is very important for people And I've missed that in my life. When I immediately learned I went blind, as I said, I've isolated myself. So having that community support is just really amazing to me. And so after that, we had dinner with the mayor and the councilman. No, the Bolt's father. And I'd say their names, but they were only said once. And as I said earlier, I suck with names. I'm sorry to them, but I just really am bad with names. And I had all these other names running through my head. So, but it was a blast meeting with them. We had a lot of great conversations. They were very much interested in my story, and I'm just surprised that there's like I might be blind, but I didn't know I was blind enough to miss a whole community. And I'm happy to have found that community and all of that. So I'm very much thankful to all of you guys and all of your support. And well, we have actually got it through a quarter of our trip today. We do have a not exact numbers to be fair, because first off on the bike we missed the first 14, then we've accidentally ran extras. So I have to when I say missed the first 14, we forgot to what word am I like reset the mileage the first one. So we did them. It's just we forgot to reset the mileage. So after that, it should all be up to date, but also all of the orientations take some time and riding. But yeah, today's been a blast, and now I'm home. We were gonna camp out at Willow Park campground, but we decided to come home and have my brother host us. Where we oh, I thought he would have some down here. Where we tried this weird like juice thing that was kind of bubbly, but it tasted good. It was great. So, and I'm happy to be able to be with my brother for another night. I kind of missed him a little bit, and